Hi sweeties, welcome back to another tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and also turn on your notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video. Okay, so today we'll be drafting a basic bodice pattern. I went ahead to, these are all my tools that I'll be needing. I'll just go ahead straight and then mark down my shoulder measurement. Okay, so I'll go down by 0.5 inches and transfer the 0.5 inches like so, and then I'll connect it into a straight line. So the next thing I'll do is go ahead and then mark down my vertical measurements. Okay, so from my shoulder to my bust is 10 inches. I'll go ahead and mark. Shoulder to my waist is 15 inches. Shoulder to my hip or my top length that I desire is 23 inches. So I'll just go ahead and transfer the measurements like so, and then I'll connect this point into a straight line. Remember that basic bodice pattern is essential in everything you want to do. Like any type of dress you want to sew, you'll be needing your basic bodice pattern. Okay, so guys, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark down half of my shoulder measurement on this line, or my shoulder line like so. So half of my shoulder measurement is 15 inches. I'm going to mark 7.5 inches. Then I'll add 0.5 inches for sewing allowance. Okay, so now the next thing is right from the allowance I added, I'm going to mark 3/4 inches for my shoulder slope. Now the next thing is to mark down my neckline, which is 3 inches, which is a standard for an average size woman. 3 inches. I'll connect this into a straight line. Sorry, I'll connect this into a curve, not a straight line. I'm used to saying straight line. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to determine my shoulder slope by connecting it from the nape of my neck down to my shoulder like so. So right from here, I'm going to mark down my armhole, which is 8.5 inches. The armhole is determined by measuring round your armhole or dividing your bust by 6 plus 1 inches. Okay, so I am just going to go ahead and rule out my armhole line. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to go ahead and connect this right from the 0.5 inches seam allowance down to my armhole. Okay, so the next thing I am going to do is label this shoulder. This is armhole, this is the bust, this is the waistline, and this is my top of my hip measurement, the top length of my hip measurement. Okay, so now the next thing I am going to do is I am going to be marking my nipple to nipple measurement. Okay, so my nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. I am going to be dividing it by 2 because the front panel will be folded into 2, so I'm going to be dividing it by 2. I'm marking the same on my hip line and on the same on my bust line, so 4.5 inches. Now to connect this, I'll come down by 1 inches for my bust line and also 2 inches right up for my hip line. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and connect all like so, and then I'll mark down 0.5 inches on both sides like so. Now I'll go ahead and connect the 0.5 inches, creating my dots. Okay, okay, so the next thing is to go ahead and insert my measurement. So my bust measurement is 38, so 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. I'm just going to go ahead and then mark my 9.5, and then my waist measurement is 33, so 33 divided by 4 is 8.25. so after making my 8.25, I'll go ahead and add the 1 inches I took down from the waistline, so like so. Now the next thing is to insert my hip measurement. So quarter of my hip measurement is 10.625. So I'll go ahead and mark it like so. And then now the next thing is to connect all these dots together. Okay, so after doing this, we'll now come to the armhole. Because this is the front armhole, you need to come in a bit more. So you take both your armhole measurements like so, and then you measure it, and then you divide it by 2, just like I folded in my tape measure like so. And then I'm going to come in by a 3/4 inch like so. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it. The armhole curve in the front is deeper than the one at the back. Okay, this will allow it to sit well on your arm, okay, or your armhole line. It will reduce that bulginess that it will create around your armhole when you come in by 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch. That is the job that coming in will do. It reduces the bulginess, okay, around the arm area. So the next thing I am going to be doing is I am going to be, this optional, this is not important. I'm just going to go ahead and slightly curve my sides like so. Okay, but I will not be cutting this out. I just want to show you that if you want to go ahead and then curve your side like so, you can just go ahead and do it. So I've added 1/2 inch on all the sides, and I'm going to connect it. This is my sewing allowance. You can add more, either 1, 2 inches or 3 inches, depending on how you want it. Okay, so the next thing is to go ahead and then add 1/2 inch for the sewing at the bottom, and then connect like so. So guys, the next thing is to add your shoulder seam allowance, also a 0.5 inches. And then first of all, you connect this up, and then you connect it down up like so. So if you want to cut it in a curvy manner like so, just go ahead and then do the same thing to the allowance that you have added. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and then indicate that I need to cut on fold. Okay, and I need to cut ×2. So this is the center front, and then the next thing is to cut our pattern out. Like I said, I will be leaving the side like it is. So this is the front panel, and then we'll be drafting our back panel. So for the back, because of the zipper, I'll just come measure 1 inch like so, and then I'll connect this into a straight line for the zip that will be fixing at the back. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and write zipper allowance, yes, to indicate that that is the allowance I have left for my back panel. Okay, if you be inserting a zipper in the front, you are going to be doing the same thing, but this time around, a basic bodice pattern, the zipper is always inserted at the back. So I've I marked half of my shoulder measurements plus half inches for sewing allowance, and then now the next thing is to mark my shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist, and shoulder to top length, or the hip measurements. Okay, so the next thing is to transfer this measurement like that. Then the next thing is to connect these dots into a straight line. So the next step is to go ahead and then mark your 3 inches standard for an average woman, and then your 1.5 inches for the back panel. Remember that the back panel is, the neckline of the back panel is shorter than the neckline of the front panel. Okay. So after connecting this like this, I'll just go ahead and pick my ruler, and then right from the 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'll mark down my 3/4 inch for my shoulder slope. And then I'll connect it from the nape of my neck down to my shoulder slope, like so. So the next thing is to go ahead and mark down from the shoulder slope half of my armhole measurement. Okay, so like so. I'll just go ahead and rule out my armhole line. Now the next thing is to go ahead and connect right from the 1/2 inches allowance down to your armhole line, like so. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to draw my armhole curve. Okay, remember the back armhole, you don't need to come in by any inches, just leave it like so. And then the next thing is to, from the zipper line, I'll go ahead and mark my nipple to nipple measurement plus 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, so because the back that is usually longer than the front, so I'm not going to come up by any inches or come down by any inches. I'm just going to go ahead and connect it like so, depending on what you like. So I've marked my 1/2 inch on both sides, and now time to connect to create our dart. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and connect it down to my hip line like so. And then remember, this is just my top length. My top length is 22, but my real hip measurement is 23 inches. Okay, so I'll go ahead and mark my 9.5 inches, which is quarter of my bust, and then 8.25 inches, which is quarter of my waist measurement. And then don't forget the 1 inches we've taken for the dart. Okay, like so. Now the next thing is to mark my hip measurements onto my top length, like so. So my hip measurement quarter is 10.625, so I've gone ahead to mark it like so, and then go ahead and connect these dots together. Okay, I'll be teaching you a very advanced way to drafting your basic bodice pattern, but this is very good for beginners. Okay, so the next thing is to just go ahead and then add our 0.5 inches all round. So I'll just connect this lines like so, this dots. Okay, So this is the center back, and then this is my bust, this is my armhole or my upper bust line, this is my waistline, and also this is my hip or top length. Okay, so don't forget that if you want a curved side line, so just go ahead and then give it any shape that you want. Okay, but I'll be leaving mine just the way it is for tutorial purpose. Okay, so the next thing is to cut this out. Guys, thank you for watching my tutorial. The next thing I will be drafting is how to draft a bumper jacket, so make sure that you watch that video. So this is the front panel and both the back panel together. I hope that you don't forget to like and then share. Guys, encourage me to do more videos, okay, by liking, subscribing, and then sharing my videos. Thank you.